Called David Clendon.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Kia ora koutou. So when this Act, this Prisoners Victims Claims Act, was first proposed prior to 2005, the Greens opposed it essentially on the basis of the effect on human rights and the reduction of human rights and the various what's now proven to be the case, that it was likely to be ineffectual and most of the effects would be negative with very few positive elements or redeeming features to it. We were at the time persuaded to support the bill through its final stages on the understanding that it would be quickly followed by a major reassessment, a major overhaul, some real significant attention paid to the whole issue of victims' rights. And clearly everybody in this House is supportive of finding ways, means of compensating the victims of crime, getting redress for them, as well as punishing and rehabilitating those people who cause problems, who create the victims. However, we cannot, in all conscience, support this vote going through, the continuation of what is essentially a flawed and indeed a failed piece of legislation. The Act has two features. It intends to restrict the circumstances in which courts can award compensation to persons under the control of the state in prison or through some other means, and intends to provide a simplified process for returning to victims of prisoners, for allowing victims to make claims against compensation awarded to prisoners. In fact, the thing has been more symbolic than real. There have been remarkably few claims, few successful instances where victims have in fact had any benefit from this legislation in the 5 or more years in which it's been enacted. It does deny prisoners the possibility of redress for wrongs done by the state. Why would you continue with a piece of legislation which has failed? The victims in this case can only benefit if indeed a prisoner or an inmate, or somebody under the control of the state, has a windfall, or if the state abuses the human rights of that prisoner. That is about the only mechanism through which a victim can get any redress. Is it not perverse to create a situation where imposing on the human rights of one person is the avenue to rewarding another for wrong done to them? It is simply a peculiar and a perverse model, and it would be better to simply remove it from the books and go looking for a proper solution. Part of the solution could be to establish a fully independent prison complaints authority, which are known to work successfully and are quite commonplace in other jurisdictions, in other countries. Absent that, we need to be very sure that there is a robust set of circumstances where prisoners can rightfully be awarded some compensation if their human rights are abused while they're in the control of the state, while they are in prison. If there are no checks on abuses in prison, then inevitably prisons become more dangerous places. They become more dehumanising environments. The flow-on effect of this, that prisoners themselves become more brutalised, more dehumanised, and therefore more dangerous to society when at such time as they are in fact released. It increases the likelihood of recidivism. There is no value in this legislation. It has not worked for victims. It has certainly not worked for prisoners. It can only work through a very perverse link of abuse, a recompense, and a secondary recompense to victims. The recent move to such unhelpful strategies as double bunking to deal with the increased prison numbers is increasing the tension in prison. It is increasing the likelihood of tension and stress and the violence that inevitably follows from that within our prisons. We know that there are better ways to deal with crime. We can reduce recidivism. We know that there are strategies that work. Strategies such as the Faith Unit at Rimataka, which has had an extraordinarily good success rate at reducing recidivism, down something like to perhaps less than 10% recidivism. for inmates who have been through that program, compared with something like 50%. We know there are mechanisms available to us now, today, that could be installed, that could be applied within existing budgets by moving budgets away from concrete and steel and wire and moving it towards serving the needs of the community by reducing the likelihood of recidivists, by healing the prisoners, because they are damaged people in the same way that their victims are damaged. We know that there are better strategies than continuing the failed strategies of the past. And if the government wants to get serious about crime, reducing the prison population, reducing the knock-on, the flow-on effects, the social costs, the environmental and the economic cost of crime, then we know there are strategies and mechanisms available to us. Inhumane treatment of prisoners is effectively protected under this bill because it takes away the likelihood of prisoners claiming compensation or objecting to the fact that their human rights have been taken away from them. We will continue to oppose this bill. It doesn't work. It was flawed at its enactment. It has proven itself ineffectual, and it would be a much better situation simply to start with a clean slate and look for a set of solutions that will deliver the outcomes. Kia ora.